Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sanderlanche podcast. This week, we are talking about the final two chapters of Oathbringer, chapters 121 and 122, wherein the battle is over, and we're back with Moash, fortunately, who gets a nickname that also is stupid. He kills our king of the heralds, which is depressing. We just have some weird stuff going on post battle, right? It almost is like an Empire ending, which is kind of what we talked about, where we've got kind of all this cleanup stuff. We do find Scar and Drehy, and we get Elhakar's son. So that's fun. Well, maybe not fun, but at least there's some hope brimming on the horizon.
Good.
Yeah, it's good stuff. We kind of have all these different shipping things with Dalinar and Navani back together. Yaz becomes queen. We've got Shallan and Adolin getting married. Shallan reuniting with her brothers. So there's a lot of like bittersweet moments going into this, and then we kind of end with Dalinar being like, "What's next?" Taravangian kind of turns his hand over a little bit, and then he sides with Odium. There's just a lot of stuff to unpack here. I know I'm kind of rambling, but it's just a lot of little moments and beats because we're winding up the Sanderlanche. So there's a lot of perspective things going on. So instead of me rambling about it, let's get into it. My name is Joe, and with me, as always, is
Data,
Jamie,
and Dak.
And crew's all back together again. So hold on to something, everyone. The Sanderlanche is about to begin.
Yearnings intertwined, the golden age in ashes once again. Under stirring stars, in the burning shards, kindle fragments of the falling rain. So look to the break of dawn, to the break of dawn. Stronger together now.
So yeah, 2 chapters this time, the last 2 numbered chapters of the book. After this, all we got is the epilogue to wrap up. But what did you guys think of these 2 chapters?
Kind of like I talked about in the intro, there's just a lot of moments, a lot of beats to kind of go over here. It's all kind of jumbled up in my head right now, to be honest. But I want to, before we got to the end of the book, which I know we still have the epilogue to go, I kind of talked about what kind of ending we would be looking at, and I felt like it was kind of be like an Empire ending, and it's not, right? The good guys win to an extent, but there's a lot of gear up for the enemy to kind of strike back, right? So like maybe the next book is the Empire Strikes Back, who knows? But there's a lot of gearing, like Odium talking with Taravangian and getting ready to kind of like be like, oh yeah, Taravangian, you've shown me this diagram. Now I'm gonna see how I can interpret it and make some changes. And I guess Taravangian thought at some point he was going to be able to like pull one over on Odium, but Odium's like, yeah, you think I'm going to come talk to you when you're in a position of strength? I'm not doing that. So there's a lot of kind of setup, I think, for the next book. To me, this ending, there's a lot of happy moments too. But to me, if anybody's familiar with the movie The Graduate, which not a super great movie until the end, in my opinion, because the end is such an interesting choice. If you've never seen the movie, basically, this young guy, is in love with this girl, but then he's seduced by her mom, and then her mom basically thinks that her daughter is too good for this guy, right? And so, at the end of the film, she's getting married, and he comes in and is like, basically interrupts the wedding, and she runs away with this guy. And they're all smiles, and they jump on a bus, and they start driving away. At the end of the film, the director made a very interesting choice. He basically, told the actors that would be the end of the film, as them sitting on the bus and smiling and driving away. What he neglected to mention is that his plan was just to keep the camera rolling, and he never calls cut. And so you get a very genuine reaction from both Dustin Hoffman as the male actor, the female actor escapes me, but you get a very genuine reaction with them at the end where they're expecting to hear a cut and they don't. And so they go from these smiling, happy faces to kind of like not confused looks on their face, but kind of like, okay, what's going to happen now? What are we doing? And it's almost like the characters, even though it's actually the actors, right? When you know the behind the scenes stuff, the characters are kind of in this this moment of like, what happens now? What do we do? And so it's kind of a really cool ending that you may not, if you're just watching it from the perspective of an audience and you don't know that background information of like, wow, that's very real, right? It's like they just both did something that upset the entirety of their lives. It's like, oh, what did we just do? That's kind of the feeling you get from their faces as an audience member. And I kind of feel like some of the beats in this book at the end are like that. It's like, okay, we've done all this, we've had this battle, we won, kind of. What's next? What do we do now? And there's lots of joyful moments, which I think makes this slightly different from the ending of that film. But it just some of the beats in the story reminded me a lot of the end of the Graduate, and so it's a very interesting ending. I think probably, in my opinion, one of the better written endings of this series, especially in my opinion, because there's lots of joyful moments, but at the same time, there's lots of like, this is not this book. Obviously, we know it's in the middle of this this arc or era, excuse me, of the Stormlight Archive. So it's like it's a very
arc is the right word, I think.
Yeah, it's very like we've won today. What happens next? And I really liked it. So I enjoyed, without reading the epilogue yet, maybe there's some more conclusion in the epilogue, but for the ending of the main chapters, I really enjoyed it. So definitely a fun read, and excited to get to the epilogue and then read the next book.
Yeah, and you're right. There are lots of positive things. Shalon gets her brothers back, although that's a little bittersweet with the letter that comes along, and she has her wedding, which is nice. But at the same time, we've lost Kholinar. Mm-hmm. We've Thaylen City rather is like devastated after the battle that happened there, and it is very. You see from the Moash perspective, like the Fused are setting up for the long haul in Alethkar. So like, yeah, what does this mean? What comes next? Yeah, no, I see what you mean exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Big ending to our main story. I would agree. I'm really happy with this ending. I think it worked really well. It definitely addressed things that I needed addressed. Yay, Adolin confessing to Dalinar, and Shallan's multiple identities, and the romance or not romance between Shallan and Kaladin. There was a lot of stuff that I needed sort of closed out, but some of it I had forgotten I needed closed out. Some of it was very, very front of mind, but no, I really enjoyed that. I loved Odium basically coming to check through Taravangian's homework. That was fun and terrifying. All these characters that like think they know what's going on, and then book 3 of this epic story are all realizing that actually we butt ants in this whole thing. Like we're not pulling the strings here. We're not deciding what happens. We might be messing up someone's day, but ultimately someone else is running the show. So yeah, I guess it sort of makes our main characters, I guess, almost feel a bit small. Like there's so much more going on here. The stuff with Moash, I didn't see the starting to proper kill the. I'm assuming they're coming for the heralds. Didn't sound. I was a bit confused. Was this guy one of the heralds that Moash killed, or was he? Who was he?
Yeah, he was not just one of the heralds. He was Yezrian, king of the heralds.
Okay, yeah, he was the king of the heralds, right? Okay, because I was like, is he one of the 10, or is he like in addition to one of the 10? But yes, so no, that checks out. I didn't see that coming, and that's pretty scary. And then Moash being in that position, I was like, Dak's going to be thrilled about this. It could have been literally anyone else. Lopen, I really enjoyed his scene. Sorry, the Lopen, giving some nice advice, and happy to pass on his jokes about having one arm, which I thought was very kindly of him. He can't use them anymore, so off you go. There's just lots of great little moments peppered throughout here, and it was nice to kind of see like where almost everyone was at. I liked that we got that scene with Zeph and Nin as well, just to kind of close that out between them. So I feel like it would be very easy to get to the end of this book and not have much closure, but I feel like I've got some closure. Like we're obviously setting up for something really big, but enough of this story is closed out. I feel really good about it.
Yeah, I think you said last time that it felt like we were already wrapping up more stuff than some of the previous 2 books had done. And I think you're probably right. It does feel it feels like several things are getting wrapped up, despite the fact that there's all this stuff still open. Also, when Adolin confesses to his dad, I was like, oh, Jamie's going to be very happy about
I was
this.
stoked. I'm really happy with sort of how it came about. I'm also really happy that Adolin had a chance to tell Dalinar, and Dalinar's reaction was exactly like what I would expect. It's like, why didn't you tell me this? Like, oh, we could fix it, but you just got to tell me. Like, so that was, no, it was good. I'm glad that it's out. It's like not out there, but it has been spoken about.
Yeah.
You know, in that whole conversation we were having last week about like, you know, who would take charge and, you know, what would happen with Adolin in the background. I can see why you pursued that line now of questioning. I was like, oh, Data. Look at you pulling the strings. We are but ants in this podcast of knowledge.
Well, I think at least one of y'all did come up with the Yasna idea, which, given the society,
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't remember who said it.
it was a
Yeah.
good pull. Whoever did it,
I think that was me. I
nice.
was like, hang on a minute. There are 2 kids here that of Gavilar.
It's true, but also, you said, Jamie, that that's pretty much how you expected Dalinar to react, but it is interesting to me that his first reaction isn't like, "How could you do such a thing?" or, "What? No, no way." He's just like, "Oh, why didn't you tell me? Jeez."
Yeah. It's
This
like,
makes things complex.
you know, any family business, you've got the 2 hats, right? Your family hat and then business owner hat. And you can just see like the dad hat on, like, oh, this is a terrible decision, but I love you, I support you, and we'll make it work. It's fine. We can fix it. I also completely get why you did it. We're not even going to argue why would you do that. Like,
Yep.
we all know why you would do that.
Yeah, I guess it's not a big mystery, right? Like, the bigger mystery is why didn't he do it before now? Probably.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you guys, but I was kind of surprised by how smoothly like the Seth Nail conversation goes. Where it's
Yeah.
just like, hey, we're on different sides, agree to disagree. We can both be confident that we're doing what our oaths say we should do. I was like, oh, okay, well, that went smooth.
And I think, like, if you think about it, it makes it, like, his reaction makes sense. He doesn't trust his own judgment. He picks something to follow, and he's following that. He's doing what he said he would do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like, I get it. I don't know how it's going to go long term, but I get it at this point. I get it.
Yeah, look, I really like this ending, and I think I stand by this being my favorite Stormlight book so far. I do think there were a few things that were just a bit rushed at the end here. Like Adolin confessing his murder of Sadeas was just over and done with very quickly. Yasna becoming queen even quicker. Taravangian telling Dalinar about how he tried to have him killed was kind of glossed over. I guess Taravangian's still hanging around. And it's just like well, now you know, but I still got to trust you sort of thing from Dalinar. I don't know. But then, like, I guess so was Seth joining Dalinar's retinue, so all right, cool. I'm just gonna hope everyone's okay with all this, because we're just being open and honest about it, which is what everyone was telling Dalinar he should be doing. And I guess Taravangian had to, like, Taravangian confessing before Seth told Dalinar, I guess, gives him some credibility.
Yeah, I was wondering if, like, we didn't see any way Taravangian could have known that Seth was now on their side. Maybe he got word somehow, but it did seem like maybe he did that to forestall, like, Dalinar finding out from him.
I feel like word from the battlefield that the assassin in white had joined in on Dalinar's side would have spread very quickly.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. What else? Moash is the fucking worst. Like, to no one's shock. I mean, killing Jezrien is like, oh, okay, that's bad, but I don't know what consequences that will have. And, like, Jezrien was not a flawless man himself. Like, he was the one who came up with the plan to condemn town to 4,000 years of, carrying the load. And then eventually he wound up becoming Dalinar's homeless drinking buddy. But the worst part of Moash's thing is, like, he's doing all this work and this labor, and he's like, if only I could forget the look of betrayal in Kaladin's eyes. Bitch, fuck off! Like, no. After the shit you've pulled, you don't get to moan about how, oh, but I hurt Kaladin's feelings. Fucking right you did! Jesus Christ. Anyway, yes, fuck Moash. And, not to be outdone, we had the second in the fucking worst category. Nan Balat is back.
Yeah, your favorite dude.
Oh man, like the other brothers I have sympathy for, but honestly, the Ghostbloods could have kept that one. Yeah, sure, it's nice for Shallan, and yes, like the letter from the Ghostbloods hints at crazy shit going on with them to come. But it's one of those things. It's like in that moment, it's like I don't care what else is going on. I can't stand this fucking guy. Why is he here? Anyhow, I really loved like Dalinar and Navani's interactions, and it's like Dalinar's like, "Teach me to read." Although that's really sweet, and it's kind of just like, okay, we need to make progress. Like we as society need to look at things that, yeah, this is a tradition, but it's also kind of been holding us back. So maybe we should move on with that. So that was cool. The bit with, hang on, you've taught me what are the pronouns for when I as a male am referring to myself, because you've only taught me the like when a woman is referring to a man. It's like, and they've gone,
Right.
oh shit, yeah, like that was just a cool little detail, a nice little touch. What else? Lopen's bit was nice. His comedy was a bit forced. Although I did have to like Kaladin going, man, Beard would have loved this guy. And like, yes, Beard would have. But I liked Lopen effectively becoming a full Radiant mid joke. Well, all right, cool, I'll pay that.
Yeah, how appropriate does that seem for him?
Yeah. But I like of all the Kaladin stuff, it's like, he's self-doubting everything, but I liked his moment with Teft. Kaladin is tormented and conflicted, but hey, so is Teft. And it's like, you know what? We can be conflicted and tormented together. This is the bromance I've been pulling for.
Yeah, Kaladin's like, hey man, I get it. And Teft looks at him, he's like, you know what? I guess you do.
Yep.
And then they both look at Rock, and it's like, oh.
Oh,
poor
yeah.
guy.
And we called that last time. It's like, man, Rock killed a guy. He is going to be messed up. And as one final note, Shallan choosing Adolin over Kaladin, and then they finally get married. Frankly, thank God it's over. I hope.
Right? Oh, I don't think any of us was super thrilled about the Kaladin Shallan thing from the get, so...
Yeah, no, it did not feel right.
So yes, you hope it's over now. We're not going to have more drama.
Ugh.
Kaladin get
Please
a
be
new
over.
girlfriend or something. Okay, but Dak, everyone listening has been waiting for something, because do you remember the last time we saw, who we now know as Yezrian?
It was Dalinar's flashback, wasn't it?
I believe it was Dalinar's flashback. It
Yeah,
was
he was the drunken homeless dude out in the steppes.
Yep. It was October for us, and that was an episode where we got information about several people not being exactly who they seemed, and we got to the scene where Dalinar's hanging out with his drinking buddy, and and you were just like, oh, all these people, like, look, if this guy turns out to be like another herald in disguise or something, I'm gonna shit a brick.
Right.
And
well,
so
okay. I'll be right back, listeners.
the entire listening audience was like, oh, he did not just. That's amazing.
I gotta go shit a brick. Hold on.
It was just a great moment.
Okay, worked it out.
But yes, so it's one of those advanced. You didn't even call it. You're just like, oh my gosh, this is so ridiculous. Like this might happen.
But I mean, this is like that fucking joke where we said way back in Well of Ascension. It's like, can you imagine if the dog that Orasur has turned himself into turns out to be Zane's dog, and Zane rocks up going, "Hey, has anyone seen my dog?" And it turns out we weren't far from the mark on that.
Yep, that was exactly on target. Pirate chef, like you guys are really good at making these shots that are not really shots.
Like, yeah, like not even predictions. That we're just saying something in passing.
Yeah. Pirate Chef's probably my favorite one I've ever done, because we were both just like completely making a joke, had no intention of thinking that it was real, and then it was real. I was like, oh, this is awesome.
The people in the Discord even longer ago were pointing out Dak, like when Moash and Kaladin kind of had their falling out, as it were. Dak made a comment about like, yeah, maybe Moash is gonna like join Team Odium or something. And
Jesus Christ!
Hey, look,
I don't even remember that.
Yep. So these are these are the long haul Dak shots, the trick shots.
I'm better at those than I am the actual predictions.
That might be true. Yeah. And honestly, like we said it before, but with the Stormlight ones, it feels like it gets hard to make predictions at some point when there's just so much.
Yeah.
So that's why the jokes are always the best, because we get there. Oh, but I did want to talk about like the Taravangian and Dalinar scene. It surprises me at first that Dalinar takes it as well as he does, but then you have to be like, okay, well, I guess Dalinar's done some shit too, and he even says to himself like, I mean, I knew that Taravangian was like
craftier than
like
he appeared.
well, but it was like so pragmatic, basically, like how he felt about rule. But I didn't realize like how far he would take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be hard for me to be friends with the guy after that. Because among all the things he said, he has to admit, like, oh yes, I sent Seth to kill you. So, yeah, that's an awkward conversation to have.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess they got past it. We end with Dalinar being like, oh, he did what he had to do. I'm not gonna like trust him, but I get it.
I guess it's out in the open now that Taravangian is not like the kindly old man that everyone thinks he is.
Yeah, we gotta wonder how many people Dalinar told this sort of thing to.
Yep.
I mean, at this point, maybe he doesn't need it. Taravangian doesn't need that cover anymore. He is king of one of the largest nations on the planet, especially now that Alethkar is like conquered territory basically by the enemy. So he doesn't need to look like a scrappy underdog or somebody to be underestimated anymore.
Yeah, maybe.
Of course, some days he is still just dumb as a bag of rocks. So
they're just like we haven't seen Taravangian today. No, he's up there plotting something, and he's actually just drooling into a pan.
Yeah, he's just laying there like. Okay, well, let's get into these chapters, y'all. We just got two. We have. It's funny because the first perspective for chapter 121 is Moash, who was not listed as Moash in the list of perspective characters. So I don't know if any of you guys were like, wait a second, what's Moash doing?
Yep. No, like I started reading the chapter, and I think I said to Jamie, it's like, man, how often is it that the very first word of a chapter can piss me off so much?
Yeah, he's the worst.
And then I guess the word.
Yes.
Yeah, I bet.
But like
not hard.
Two things went through my head. One's just like, oh, this fucking guy. And then the second thought was, this fucking guy, his name wasn't on the list.
Turns out it was, kind of.
Mm.
He's given a new name or something.
Yeah.
That's
Was it that name we spoke about that I can't remember what it was?
It is
like,
Vire.
It's a random name.
Vire. Yeah, Vire.
Yeah.
The Vire rises.
Are there still people at this point saying he did nothing wrong? Because if they are, they're stupid.
Oh, people love defending Moash, yeah.
What?
No,
Why?
Like,
there's a whole
for real or ironically?
I feel like a lot of it is probably ironically, but I've seen some arguments where people seem very determined that it's like, no, I mean, we've had emails about it where people are like, hey, but can't you see that these things he did were all like reasonable?
Well, there's to a point where it's like they're defending the things that he has done in the past, but I feel like now that he's officially joined Team Odium, it's like, okay, whatever else he's done in the past, he's pretty clearly jumped off the slope now, right?
You would think that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I would think that.
Somebody joins up with like Team Literal Evil, and you're like, well, I mean,
I guess the scary thing to me about that, from readers who actually feel that way, is like literally, you get this sentence from Moash. He thought vengeance would make him happy, but it just made him feel cold. And like every work of fiction, I feel like places vengeance in that realm of like, I thought vengeance would be a good thing. Like that's Batman's classic thing, right? Like vengeance doesn't make me feel better.
Yeah.
And like that's not how vengeance works. And so to sit there and be like he didn't do anything wrong even now, like readers, you're Odium. You're telling me don't feel bad. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. You're literally the bad guy in the book. Like Amaram says the same thing, right? Like he's like, I didn't do anything. It's not my fault.
Yep. That is what Amaram says. Now, okay, so I will give them that there is a perspective here of like the singers, the people who used to be Parshmen and have now, and they're pissed off about the stuff that happened. Even like Venli overhears some of them were like, I mean, do we have to go and fight them? Can't we just enjoy living our lives now? And someone else was like, but look at all they took from us.
Right.
Like you're like, they are justified in being pissed off.
Sure.
We found out recently that all this land used to be theirs and it was stolen from them. They are justified in being pissed off. So maybe you could say Moash is helping them. This is a justified perspective.
No.
No. That's like you could say that, but you'd be wrong. Okay.
You could
say a lot of
say
things.
That. No, Moash is helping Moash, and the fact that he's found some people who are willing to help him do that is, you know, that's just convenient for him.
Right.
And like, yes, like the listeners and the singers, they're a bit more justified in their perspective, but you can't tell me Odium is actually on their side. He's just using them to get what he wants.
I mean, yeah, he kind of said as much when they were like, "Wait, we have to follow a human," and he's like, "Man, I don't care what kind of tool it is. All I care is that it cuts."
Yeah.
So like that's what Odium is here for, is the cutting.
Yeah. So it's like I can sympathize with the listeners and the singers, but that doesn't necessarily mean like just Odium is using them for his ends. So all the destruction they cause is not going to be for them in the end. It's going to be for him.
It does seem that way. Although I guess we don't really know, other than probably escaping and being free, we don't know exactly what Odium's ends are. So
I assume getting out, same as Ruin.
yeah, I mean, Ruin did want to. Well, Ruin wanted to ruin everything and then get away, but yeah.
Boy, did he.
All right, but anyway, back to the chapter. We come and find Moash is like breaking rocks with a pickaxe. Also, I think we've talked about it before, but I love that the Moash like chapter header is a Bridge 4 uniform, but with the patch ripped off. It's just that kind of says it all. And so Moash is right in Koldanar where we left him. He killed a bunch of people, and now he's just breaking rocks, just doing whatever needs to be done by the fused. And we get one interesting detail. As a fused walks past, he notes that there are 9 orders of fused, not like the 10 orders of radiance. So now I want to know what all of these are. We've seen the flying ones. We saw one that like had giant bulky armor that he could like grow stuff and rip it off and stab people with it. So that's at least 2.
Maybe they don't have bondsmiths, and that's why Odium was so interested in Dalinar. Because the bondsmiths were the
makes sense.
rarest ones, weren't they?
Yes, there were only 3, so yeah.
Yeah.
And so they're like, hey, one of the fused is like, hey, Hananan, I don't know how you say that name. HN is a weird combination of letters to start the word with. But yeah, someone wants to talk to you. And flies off, and Moash has to like walk up all the steps to talk to whoever this is at the top of a big tower. And they're like, hey, first off, this person is very impressed with themselves that they picked Moash out. For years, my brother, sister, and I will boast of having chosen you. Odium has a command for you. You killed a king. Yeah, he's just like, okay, what? You've killed a king. Would you like to do the same to a god? And then we cut away, which is like, what were y'all thinking at that point? Like, what?
I was just kind of like, what are they doing now? Who cares about this guy? He's the worst.
Yeah, it's just like, fuck off.
Yeah, not cool. I was like, really? He's getting a bigger role. Good. I actually thought he'd be coming for Dalinar. I thought they were going to call Dalinar a god.
Oh, right, because yeah, when he did his whole like I am unity thing, you were like, he's kind of like ascended now. So I could see why you'd think that. Not this time, anyway. We cut to Navani, who goes out to get Dalinar, basically. Like Kaladin and Lopen are helping him in, and she's like, "Nah, I got him. You guys go do other things." And Dalinar has this. It's like, I know why the memories came back now. Like I had to be prepared. Odium was going to make me remember, and I needed this time to like get ready for that. So cultivation, good call on her part, I guess. And then he says, "Thank you for inspiring me." And she's like, "What?" And he hands her the big gem that has the thrill inside of it. And she's like, "Yeah, it reminded me of how we make Fabrials." And she says that this reminds her of a sphere that Gavilar had. So that's interesting. You guys remember what happened to the sphere that Gavilar had?
I do not.
Nope.
It hasn't been mentioned since Way of Kings, as far as I recall. Well, except maybe when Navani saw it in the prologue to this book, now that I think about it. But when Gavilar dies, he asks Seth to give his brother this message. You must find the most important words a man can say. And then he hands Seth this weird gem that glows with a strange light and tells him, like, they can't get this. And Seth takes it and mentions later on in the book that he hid it somewhere in Yakaved because he didn't want one of his masters to see it and take it. And that is the last that we know about it.
No,
Okay,
fuck.
so Seth knows where it's at.
No, it's in Yakaved. Taravantian will have it.
Maybe.
The diagram showed him, like, meh, dig under this rock. Okay.
That would be very impressive, yeah. But I mean, the diagram's done some impressive stuff.
Yep.
And he's like, "Navani, I need to ask something of you, but it might be uncomfortable." And she's like, "Yeah, what?" "I want you to teach me how to read." Which, all the way at the beginning of this book, somebody called the epigraphs we were getting were going to be a book written by Dalinar, and he was going to learn to read. So I don't remember who called that either, but good shot.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
My gut says that sounds like a Jamie prediction.
It's been a long time since we started this
Mm,
book.
Yep.
yeah, that was a long time ago. Maybe like really early on, we were thinking maybe it was Yasna that wrote it, but maybe it was Dalinar that wrote it. Maybe
Yeah, we kind of went back and
there's
forth
something in
because
the memory bank.
all of part one was like the Oathbringer preface, and you guys had a bunch of discussion back and forth about who could it be. So,
Mm,
but then we go to Shallan, who she's having issues. I mean, she's always having issues, it seems like, but she seems to be like vacillating very quickly between her different personalities. She's just sitting here having a conversation among the three of her. And Yasna's like, "Hey, are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, no, I'm just tired." And Vale says, "I could use a stiff drink." And Yasna's like, "Yeah, I don't think that would help, but you just rest a bit." And then Radiant pops in to be like, "I want to finish my wardship. I want to do better." And Yasna's like, "Okay, good."
So, question: Adela knows of the 3 different versions of her. Do other people realize that's what's going on, or is it just an Adela knows thing?
I don't think anyone else knows anything about it at this point. Like we haven't seen her talk about it to anyone. I don't think.
No. I mean,
Or-
Yasna's obviously like, something's up with you. This is
Mhm.
not right. And I feel like maybe Yasna had said something like actually at the battle in Valinor. Because the illusions, she couldn't tell which one was actually her. But I feel like that's as far as that's gone.
Yeah. Yasna is smart enough that I agree. I feel like she probably senses something is amiss here. But
Mm,
what is happening to Shallan is so weird, I would be shocked if anyone could, like, guess it.
yeah.
And Navani comes over to be like, "Hey, let me get you a palanquin or something. Let's get you through the Oath Gate." And I feel like everyone else is, because Shallan keeps talking in different ways. Radiant has a certain way of talking, and then Vale has a certain way of talking. And she keeps, like, popping back and forth between them. And I feel like everyone else is just like, okay, what is up
Yeah,
here?
I feel like they should find it more obvious that something's like going on with her. That's definitely weird because you're right. It's like they have completely different ways of speaking, and she's doing them right one after another.
Yeah. Maybe everyone's putting it down to, like, she just did something real tough. She's probably super tired, but it's weird. And then Adolin shows up, and he can tell immediately. He's looking in her eyes as she's flipping back and forth between these personalities. And then when Shallan peeks through, his, like, hand tightens on hers, and she's like, there it is. That's the one that I am. And he knows. So I feel like that's very cute.
I did like that, yeah.
And they have a conversation, and he's like, I like his part where he offers to get her a palanquin, and she's like, "Oh, everyone keeps asking." He goes, "Well, I could carry you up. Of course, you're a Radiant, so maybe you could carry me up instead. I have been all the way up to the top and back down once." I like their relationship. I'm glad that it is going to continue here. And then she catches sight of Kaladin, and Vale kind of pops in and takes over. And there's a moment like, what happened to his boots? Because of course we're thinking about Kaladin's boots. And Adolin notices that something is off, especially after Vale kind of just dismisses him. It's like, "Yeah, palanquin sounds great, thanks." And then the three of them sit down and have a conversation about which one they should pick. Radiant and Vale are both kind of on the Kaladin side. Radiant maybe less strongly, whereas Vale is like, "Look at those eyes, oh my gosh." And Shallan's just like shoves them both aside, like, no. You're not, I am sometimes you are not me. I get to pick. Which is maybe the healthiest thing she's done all book, quite honestly, but this poor girl needs help. And then we go to Venli, who's on the boat, leaving, and having a conversation with her Spren about, like, why'd you pick me? Why not one of the humans? And wait, that many? I didn't know the humans' betrayal cost your people so many lives. Your own grandfather, even? So apparently, these Spren are pissed off at the humans about what happened back in the day, so maybe that explains why this particular order hasn't bonded any humans yet. And she overhears this conversation of the guys being like, "Hey, like, do we really need to fight these guys? They stole everything we were. I wish we could have known who we are." And she's like, "I can tell you. Come here. You keep working. Let me tell you about the listeners," which is a speech she has a lot of practice giving at this point. Seth is talking to the sword. He's like, "You did a great job. You didn't destroy that many of them, but you just need more practice, Seth. It's okay." I mean, he kind of destroyed a lot, I feel like.
Yeah, but as we found out, Nightblood's memory not real good.
Nightblood's not good with
Yeah.
numbers.
Also true. These both may conspire. He doesn't remember what happens when he's drawn, and also he's bad at counting.
And it might also be a case of, like, I sense a lot of evil out there. And, like, at the end of it, it's like, there's still a lot of evil out there, so he must not have killed that many.
It could be. But yeah, he goes back to Nail, And he's like, Master, I'm sorry, I've angered you. And Nail's like, I mean, I'm not your master, and also, no, you haven't. Why would I be mad? Well, because you decided this one thing was true and wanted us to do that. And he's like, no, man. Like, the whole point is my judgment is flawed. Each of our judgment is flawed. That's why we pledge ourselves to something different. In his case in particular, he's like, I used to have compassion. I can remember the days before, all those centuries of torture stole my ability to feel anything.
I feel like, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like this book specifically, because of how much interaction there is between Seth and Nail, it's really taken the scariness and bite out of Nail. Because I feel like in the previous books, he was kind of this mystery figure of like, oh man, he shows up and kills people and then he takes off. And, during Lift's like short story, he's very scary. Like he's this terrifying being that's just going around killing. I feel like this not only did this book take a lot of the mystery out of him, but also take a lot of the bite out of him. It's kind of a little bit of a bummer, and I get it, right? Like because we're progressing in the story, the character is developing, and this character is even changing. But I was kind of sad to like see that scary mystery character kind of unraveled,
I guess it's
Sure.
also
I can see that.
because he, like in the previous book and in Edge Dancer, it's like the perspective we're seeing him through is people who are terrified of him because he's coming to kill them. Whereas in this book, we only see
Right.
him from Seth's perspective, and Seth works for him, so it's like, all right, yeah, less scary.
Yeah, I'm not sure Seth is actually scared of anything. He's got his own issues where,
Yeah.
like,
he doesn't afraid of anything, is what you're saying?
Exactly. Yeah,
And he's a cool guy.
He was gonna welcome death at one point, so I don't feel like there's much that he's worried about.
I feel like Seth is scarier now with the weird like shadow Seth thing.
Yep.
And the sword that wants him to kill. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but nobody knows that but Seth and Lift.
And Nail.
Well, yeah.
And so Nail even says, "Hey, I'll come back later and I'll train you on the Surge of Division and we get to see Seth swear that oath, which I think Jamie last time was like, I was disappointed we didn't get to see him take his oath. Well, there we go. I swear to follow the will of Dalinar Kholin. Very simple oath.
I love.
I was disappointed because it was off. Like I thought it was off page. I thought he must have done it and then gone, but then he just went and didn't do it.
I guess so. He was like, if I die, I don't have to worry about it. But we got there.
I feel like this really speaks to Nail and his thing and his focus on conviction and doing the right thing. It's like we are on opposite sides, but I'll still come back and train you on your other surge. Like that's that you're gonna know that.
If we fight each other on the battlefield, we'll try to kill each other, but otherwise we're cool.
Yeah. And it's like that is an excellent and really fun little dynamic.
On some level, I feel like it's quite disturbing how easily he can divorce himself from, all feeling. But yes, it is. It's good for Seth in particular, who will probably want some training.
Yeah.
And then we go back to Shallan, who gets some tea with probably a little more caffeine in there than she absolutely needed. And she starts kind of going. And she finds Adolin, who's like, okay, look, let me say this, Shallan. I've decided to step back. I'm going to let him have you.
as soon as I read that line, I was like, whoa, wrong choice of words.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah.
This isn't gonna fly, Adolin.
No. I was like, dude, not only are you doing something stupid, not the way to say that.
But also, it's like, oh man, it's like the worst possible combination of words. Because in every other factor of this, he is justified. He's seen her making these moon eyes at this other guy, and so he's got into his head that he's not good enough, and that she'd be happy with him. So he's trying to do what in his head is the right thing. But because he says it like this, the narrative turns it on. It's like, you're a fucking idiot, and Shallan's done nothing wrong. I'm like, how do I feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I get it, because like Shallan definitely has done something in this situation, right? Like she's making the moon eyes, yeah. So like she is not like she's not in a position of like doing nothing wrong for sure, because she's been making these moon eyes, Galadin or whatever. But at the same time, like, yeah, dude, what a like way to pick the worst way to say what you just said.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because I feel like it is totally in character because we know how bad Adolin has been with women in the past. That was like his defining character trait in the first book was how he kept screwing up every single relationship that he had.
Yeah, it's on brand for the both of them. He screws up with women and she makes jokes out of a serious situation. Perfectly in character for them both.
That's true. I hadn't thought about it from as to her character, but that's absolutely true. And so, yeah, you're right. She gets to kind of take the moral high ground very quickly here. Be like, you don't get to just walk around deciding who, like, you hand me to, like I'm some sort of thing. No. And he's like, look, this is hard for me. You're making this harder. Can we just? And he's like, look, I've seen how you look at him. And she goes, I'm an artist. I can appreciate a nice picture without wanting to pull it off the wall and get intimate with it. And he's like, but he can literally fly. And she has her whole speech about like, so the fuck what? Like, what does that have to do with anything? And then they kind of make up, and when he realizes how much she likes him, and they start kissing, and it's the whole thing.
Gross kissing.
And I like the point where he's like, are you sure about this? Don't glare at me. Look, it's just the world is full of gods and heralds and shit now, and I'm just like a guy with a sword. And she's like, and then she has to admit, it's like, look, I will admit, in the interest of full disclosure, Vale kind of has a thing for Kaladin, but she has terrible taste in men, and she's going to fall in line.
Like, I'm sorry. It's like, don't fuss. One of my alternate personalities has a tendency to fuss over him, but you don't need to worry about that. What? How is that an excuse?
Well, he's like, that's worrisome. And she's like, no, it's fine. I won't let her act on it.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. The thing about how you are other people, that part is worrisome.
Yeah, that's the part that's scary to me.
And she's like, hey, but look, I mean, I think I've stopped making up new ones. There's just 3 of us for now. So you got like 3 girls instead of 1. Isn't that great?
Still not better, Shallan.
No,
Still not
that
better.
kind of creeps me out, actually.
Yeah, this is getting a bit icky, honestly.
Oh,
I just feel like she is not taking his feelings into consideration here. She's trying to brush off his concerns without paying attention to the things that are worrying him.
yeah. Well, I think it's, well, like you said, she has a tendency to turn stuff into a joke, but I think particularly when she doesn't have the answer either. So her only other option would be like, I don't know what to tell you. So she tries to like, make it something else.
Yeah, but they had that
Because
on the boat. Like, like she was the whole I don't have the answer, and she's like, well, you don't understand. And then Adolin goes, well, I killed Sadius, and I don't really have the answer to that either. And that was their bonding thing. Like, they can talk to each other, for God's sake.
It's true. But Shallan's like go-to move is ignore the uncomfortable things until they stop happening.
Yep. Deflect, make jokes until the uncomfortable thing goes, oh my fucking God, she's Deadpool.
Does that make Adolin death? Because that would be weird.
Maybe Cable.
Yeah. I wasn't here last
blind
week,
owl.
but that reminded me. I thought I thought the thing where Adolin's actually getting to talk to his spread sword was pretty cool. What did you guys think about that?
Loved it. Loved it.
Yeah,
he
thought that was
forgot her
really neat.
name.
Yeah, that was cool. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's, definitely want to see more of that. Like, can they develop this relationship a little bit? And then we cut to Kaladin, who's up on the roof watching the city, and then spots those 2 making out. And Syl's like, thinks he's upset about the words. He's like, don't worry, they'll come in their own time. And he's like, no, it's fine. And then she sees where he's looking. She's like, oh, well, I know you don't give up. You've lost this round, Kaladin. But he's like, no, she's made her choice. I don't think I loved her, Syl. I felt like a lightning around her. Like, she reminds me of someone. And Syl says, who? And he doesn't answer. Instead, he opens his palm and has a rock. She's like, that's a nice rock. He's like, yeah, it changes colors if you get it wet. Which, that original conversation is, once again, all the way back in Way of Kings.
That's
That is a conversation he and his brother had once upon a time. And so the implication being, Shallan reminds him of his brother. And we know that his brother was also on his way towards becoming a light weaver. So maybe there's something, like a quality that you see there in that order. I don't know that he felt that way around Elokar, who was also on his way there, but, let's see. We find out the Parshman armies have basically taken most of Alethkar. The remaining Alethi armies have been pushed into Herdaz, which I'm sure the Herdazians are loving that.
That's a Tuesday for them.
We saw a little bit of that in a interlude, I think, at some point during this book. So
Herdazian just like, all right, summon the hog.
The hog, yes, exactly. And then they have a little bit of a conversation about maybe this is what happened with the Recreants. It wasn't like this single event, but they just had to face this thing that they couldn't ignore anymore. I'm not going to do the same thing he says, but the guys at Bridge 4, they're kind of concerned. And then here's the moment with Teft, where Teft shows up, and Kaladin's like, I knew it. I knew that you would come and save me. And Teft's like, well, I the fuck didn't know it, but cool. And then Tef's like, I still feel, like, isn't it supposed to feel better now that I've like said this oath? I still feel like I want Moss. And Callan's like, yeah, it doesn't change us, Tef. We're still who we are.
Yeah, that's kind of a bittersweet moment too. It's
Feel
like
for him.
he finally kind of feels good about himself, and he's like, but I still feel good. It's like, yeah, it's not a cure all.
Sadly.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been with Kaladin the whole trip. It is definitely not a cure-all.
Yeah, you want to stop feeling guilty for that shit? Go talk to Odium.
Right? Yeah, that's the easy button if you want something to just like make you feel better, make you feel nothing. And then he looks over at Rock, who's sitting there with like that bow across his lap. And Tef's like, what about him? And Kaladin's just like, we lift the bridge, Teft, and we carry it together. And that's the end of that, which I like that a lot, actually. And then we get the Dalinar Taravangian confrontation, where Taravangian has shown up. He's like, hey, I'm back. And Dalinar's like, dude, you abandoned me and this city. Like, what the hell, man? I thought we were friends. And Taravangian's like, yeah, I assumed that you were going to fall, and so I positioned myself so I could seize control of the coalition. And it's like Dalinar's got like this jaw drop moment, like, what?
Maybe we have a different definition of friend.
And then Taravangian's, he's like, yeah, I thought your mistakes, you weren't, the only way that the coalition could recover from your mistakes is for me to take command. So I had to move aside for the good of Roshar. And that's when Dalinar starts putting the pieces together that he probably should have put together a long time ago, where he's just like, you didn't become king of Yaakoved by accident, did you? How'd you manage it? And so Taravangian starts telling him, not every single thing, but kind of a lot.
Like these moments are terrifying because you're like, this is just this person that I knew who was just completely flipped on themselves to be what you thought was endearing was actually cold and calculated. And yeah, always terrifying when you get to this point in like a thriller or something and it's like, oh, wow. Like we saw it coming eventually, but Daryl and I didn't. And it's a lot. It's a lot to unpack there.
That's a good point. That is a character you see in a thriller a lot, where like there's that moment where they turn and the person realizes like what's happened. Yeah.
Mm.
I guess spoilers for a show that ended like half a decade ago, but this is Ted Danson in The Good Place.
You said Ted Danson, and my first thought was Cheers, and I was like, I don't remember that episode of Cheers.
Yeah, dude, do you remember when Ted Danson turned in Cheers and he's like, "You're in the hell bar."
I never made it to that
Except
point.
we grew to like Ted Danson's character, and
Yeah.
I feel like probably not going to feel the same way about Taravangian.
You should finish The Good Place, Dave. It's pretty good.
It's really good. It's a rare case of a show in this day and age that stuck the landing.
Yeah, and they like the creator had a specific vision, and he's like, no, after this season, it's over. Like I'm not here for the money. Like I've got an idea and I want to carry it out, and then the show ends.
Yep.
I do always appreciate that. Like Avatar: The Last Airbender with its 3 seasons that they play ahead of time. That usually makes for a better story.
Yeah. Speaking of good shows, I started watching Elementary because it's on Disney Plus, and man,
like
that's a good show.
Is that the one with Lucy Liu?
It is.
She's Watson.
And I'm a big Sherlock Holmes fan. And when they announced that, I was like, Lucy Liu is Watson. It's just an excuse to do some like will they, won't they sexual tension thing between like Watson and Holmes, right? Like I was rolling my eyes. And then I started watching the show and I was like, actually, she is excellent and he is
she's real
excellent.
good.
And the character dynamic between them is nothing like I was scared it would be. It's actually an excellent show.
Yeah, they don't really go down that path of like will they, won't they. They make jokes about it, but it's not really like a thing.
Yeah. And I mean, I shouldn't have doubted because Lucy Liu is generally pretty good, but I was worried about it as a Holmes fan, and I should not have been. It was quite good. Yeah, I've heard. I always hear The Good Place is good. I don't know. I fell off sometime in the towards the end of the first season, I think, and just never went back. So one of these days, we find out that there's a woman in Carbranth named Dova who he thinks is a herald, and she told us there was a desolation coming. So here's what happened, and he tells him about the stuff with Seth. And then we, in the middle of that conversation, because nothing important is happening there. We know all that, right? It's fine. Let's go to Moash instead, everyone's favorite.
Boo.
And Moash comes up to this poor drunken guy. Ahu is what he's called, who sits in the garden with the statues of all the heralds and goes, "Have you seen me?" Because there's a statue of Yezreen right there. So,
hey, have you seen this statue of me?
Yeah. And Moash just like, no, and then stabs him in the stomach. And then dude starts to, it's like, what? No, what is this death? What is this death? It's taking me. What is it?
Yeah. It's a little depressing. Also, I know that's part of the mystery here. It's like, how did they do this?
Like, there's got to be something to do with like the color of the knife, like because they make a
Yeah,
point.
like
It's
the
like
gem in it or whatever.
There's the gem, and it's like it's weird and it's golden. I'm like, okay, is there like an aluminium alloy of gold or something that they've made?
This is an excellent question. Yeah,
I hate
because
that fucking
clearly it's something other than a normal stabbing a dude, because that would have just sent him back to damnation, and that does not seem to be what's happening.
No, I'm not going to a different planet. I'm dying.
And as he does it, the fused are like just hanging in the sky watching. So it's like they knew that Yezreen was here, but they were so like scared to do it themselves for some reason. But he's just like, oh, here you go, whatever. The final death of Yezreen, Yezir, Jezareza Ilin, King of Heralds, a figure known in myth and lore as the greatest human who had ever lived.
citation needed.
Right, yeah. And then we cut for a fun scene with the Lopen, where he has a spren of his own, who he calls
man.
Nako.
I love this Lopen stuff, man. Like sometimes Lopen grates on me, but this was just I really liked it. It's just comedy gold all the way through.
Lopen is playing like hide and seek with Rua is the name of the spren. He calls it Nako, which makes me want some nachos or a taco, either one. And Tef's like, hey, stop messing around. Get over here. And Lopen's trying to teach the spren how to like flip people off.
Which, to be fair, if I had a spren, probably one of the first things I would do.
Oh yeah.
And when the little guy gets it, he's like, yeah, that's it. Now you can thank me for inspiring this great advance in your learning.
Oh, Lopen.
People and little things made out of nothing too, sure, are often inspired near the Lopen. But then he goes into the tent where like all of the injured people are. The ones who are not so bad off that they need healing from the 2 radiants they have who can heal people. And he finds a guy who has lost his arm. And he's like, hey, you want to see a trick? And the guy just shrugs. And so he shows him how he can like tie his boots with one hand, because he's had a lot of practice doing that kind of thing. And he's like, hey, don't look like that, man. It's not the end of the world. And the guy looks at him. He's like, well, sure, technically it might be, but for the end of the world, it's not so bad, right? And then he's like, hey, you want to see a trick? And the guy's like, another one? He's like, yeah, here, check this out. And he opens the bottle. He says, usually I use my fingernails because I got Herdazian extra strong ones, but he shows him how he does it with his leg. And he tells the guy, if you need any jokes, I got a few I can't use anymore. And the guy's like, you're one of them, aren't you? One of the Radiants. And he's like, yeah. Well, I mean, not really. I'm trying to figure out the next step. I've got the flying and the spren. I don't know if I'm that good at saving people yet. And the guy looks at his drink. And he's like, I think you might be doing just fine. And Lopen's like, that's a beer, not a person. Don't get those mixed up.
I love that. I love it. It's just like, hey, idiot. It's a beer.
And the guy's like, how do you join up? They say that it heals you. And he's like, yeah. They say you have to be broken, Lopen tells him. You know that tall woman, the king's sister? The Chortana with the glare that could break a shard blade? Yeah, she says the power has to get into your soul somehow.
What is a Chortana?
It's one of these Herdazian words.
I know, but what is it?
It's probably somebody sent us one time that in like the world guide that came with the RPG, there's like an explanation of Herdazian slang.
Oh, I've got that book. I should look that up.
An intimidating or powerful woman is what it says.
That she is.
I got that from the context, I guess. So I've been trying to cry a lot and moan about my life being so terrible, but I think the Stormfather knows I'm lying. Hard to act sad when you're the Lopen. And dude's like...
Now I'm just imagining Dalinar and Stormfather having conversation, and the Stormfather's like, can you please shut that Herdazian up? He won't shut up. And Dalinar's like, man, if you can figure out a way, we'll do it, but we've been trying.
Yeah, it's like, I would love to, if you could tell me how. and the guy's like, I might be broken. He's like, good, we don't have a Thalen yet. It looks like we're trying to collect one of everything. We even have a parchment. And the guy's like, so I just ask? It's like, yeah, sure. Follow us around, but you gotta say the words. Life before death, strength before weakness, journey before pancakes. Which...
I love it. And then it works. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Life before pancakes. Or journey before pancakes.
He's like, that's the easy one. The hard one is, I will protect those who cannot protect themselves. And then there's the Flash.
Yeah.
the symbol crystallizes on the ground around him, and something's like, those words are accepted. He's like, what the now?
And he's like, I love how he's like, I was trying to save that for a dramatic moment. It's so good.
Why didn't you listen earlier? We were sure all about to die and things. And the voice is like, you weren't quite ready.
So that was Stormfather, just like, this will shut you up.
Maybe so. That's how he figured out how to shut him up. Exactly. And then Lopin flips off the sky, and his friend joins in and grows extra arms to flip the sky off even more.
I love that. I love that.
And he goes over to try to impress Kaladin, like, hey, check it out, I'm a full knight now. And Kaladin's like, yeah, shut up. Because he's getting an important message.
Shut up.
And then he's like, okay, Lopin, good job. You're second in command until after Teft until I get back. And he takes off. And then he looks, and Rua is still flipping. It starts flipping Kaladin off, and Lopin's like, don't wear it out, man. Like, you gotta save it for the right moments. I love that whole scene, so it's great. Lopin and Lift are both characters that do annoy some people, but I personally tend to enjoy them a lot.
I think in small doses
Yeah,
and like well placed, they're excellent.
fair point. And then we cut to Ash, who Talon has whatever got him out of his funk when Dalinar did his thing has worn off because he is not himself again. And she's like, we're gonna get you to Ishar. Ishar will know what to do.
No, he fucking won't.
I mean, even Nail was like, Ishar's the only one of us who's still sane.
Yeah, and he's like the crazy god king.
Yep.
Like, he will know what to do. I will throw you at Odium and hope it kills him.
He's just up on his throne. He's like, ignore me.
And she's trying to take this giant dude and slip out quietly through the Oath Gate while there's a bunch of people moving through. Maybe she can get away. And then she feels something. She feels the death of her father, and it knocks her down, basically. And Talon feels it too. And somebody's like, dude, are you okay? We need a healer over here. And she's like, they killed him. My father is dead. And here comes Yasna, who looks at them and then looks at a piece of paper, which has a shockingly accurate sketch of both of them. And she thinks that's his drawing style. Why has Midius been giving away pictures of us? And then she passes out. Yeah, that's the end of the chapter.
Tantalizing.
Right? I'm trying to remember if we've heard the name Midius before.
Also, I was wondering why we didn't see them during the fight. It's like, oh, they ran away scared. Like, it was kind of weird.
Yeah. Especially because Dell and I made the whole thing. It's like, we've got all the orders represented. If we include those two people there,
And then they didn't help
they didn't
at
do
all.
They didn't do jack.
They just like ran away. I'm like, I'm scared.
Yeah. It is a conundrum. Like, you guys are supposed to be like some of the best, most badass people in history, and you had Dad was a drunk for who knows how many years. It was like at least all the time that Dalinar was in Kolinar, he was just sitting there out of his mind drunk. And Ash has just going around the world destroying art of herself. Like, none of them seem to be in a state to be very helpful at this point. Honestly, in comparison to some of the other ones we've seen, Nail's not doing so bad. He even recognizes his own issues on some level.
Yeah.
And then our last numbered chapter, A Debt Repaid, where Kaladin flies across an ocean. They got a message. I don't know how exactly the message got to them, but they did.
They said there was
And he finds.
they had a dude with a span read in the group.
Oh yeah. That makes. I mean, they would have to be, right? What else could it be? He finds a camp with some refugees, and one of the tarps has the symbol of Bridge 4 on it. And Scar and Drahe made it.
Fuck yeah, they did.
Yay!
We have no idea. Oh yeah, Shalon's people are also here. I was about to say, do we figure out if Shalon's people made it? But yes, they're here too. It's okay.
Yep, cool.
You know, Vatha's okay. What's her name? The girl, I forget her name actually. She's okay.
Ishna?
It was Ishna, that's right. It's not like Gaz was there. You know,
Yeah, that's true. Or Shob.
I think it was Red and Vatha and Ishna. And they're like, hey, Kaladin, Scar says, there's something that was too important for us to mention over Spanreed. And they have Elokar's son with them.
Which
protect those who cannot protect themselves.
Double yay.
Like, very, very yay, but this is going to be like the greatest story never told. It's like,
right?
These two guys got the king's son and got out of that fucking massacre alive. Like, how? I salute you boys, but how?
And while Elokar's wife was like turning into Yelignar or whatever,
Yeah.
no.
Because I mean,
I want
like,
the
'cause, like,
story.
because like, her Aes Sedan's people got a hold of Gavinor, didn't they?
Yeah, one of the Queen's
It was
Guard grabbed him and ran off.
that was
So
the last we saw of him. So it's like Scar and Drahe have just gone, oh fuck no, and carved about without shard powers because Kaladin was gone. So they were just two normal humies, and they just grabbed the boy and took off. I'm like, fucking hell.
I wonder if maybe one or both of them found some powers of their own, essentially. Like he says he gives that oath, we will protect those who can't protect themselves at the end of this. So I was like, oh, does that mean that like Drahe bonded a Spren while we weren't around?
I mean, I wouldn't
Maybe
love
that
to
could
see
have
it.
helped.
Is there a short story or a novella detailing?
Nope,
Fuck.
nothing. And it's funny because when I first read this book, like the fate of this poor kid who, like this innocent child who's been tortured, was really something that stuck with me after that section. I'm like, but what about that kid? Like, what happened to him? And so it was a relief to me when we got here, and I was like, oh my gosh, thank you that Brandon also did not forget about this poor child.
Yeah.
And we cut to Taravangian, who is real dumb today. Can't solve the first page of riddles or puzzles, whatever. It'd be funnier if they were riddles.
It's just a riddle book. He's like he made it like he really loved the Hobbit section with the riddles, and he was like, I'm gonna make a riddle book. That'll be fun.
He's just sitting there just going, what gets wetter as it dries? Wakes up the next morning, a towel.
Oh, that would be amazing. I would love that. But so yeah, he is really back in Urithiru, and he's real dumb today, to the point that he's just kind of like over on the side while other people are having discussions about what should we be doing, and like his closest advisors are arguing like, we've gone too far from the diagram. It's been wrong too often now. It predicted Dalinar would fall if pressured and become the enemy's champion, which, to be fair, Renarin also predicted. So
Well, you shouldn't make an assumption. Makes an ass out of. Wait, I fucked that up.
you and Umption.
Disregard.
And so while they're talking, he's just like drawn. Like maybe there's a voice talking to him. It's like, the window, open the window. And it's just as the Everstorm is arriving. But he knows what it is because Adrotaj is like, hey, are you trying to let in some fresh air? And he goes, no, unfortunately, something else. And then Odium is here, a 20-foot tall guy with the shin eyes and a scepter.
He's just like, you would not believe the day I have had.
Boy, was it sucky.
And so Taravangian wrote Odium a letter. I don't know how he delivered a letter to Odium, but also he arranged for his Radiant to unlock the Oath Gate and let the enemy into Urithiru.
Yeah, that whole. Wait, why is this happening over here? Oh, there's your explanation.
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense.
And Taravangian's like, I wish only to serve you, great god. And Odium's like, don't bullshit a bullshitter, okay? Like,
hey, I'm the king of lies. What are you doing?
I know you're not a sycophant. You're not going to impress me by like pretending to be one. And Taravangian's like, I'm not good today. Can we maybe talk a different time? And Odium's like, no, well, you think this is an accident? No, I would never meet with you when you were feeling well. Yeah.
Does that mean Taravangian at his best could outwit Odium? That's scary.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe it's just one of those things where it's like, why make it more difficult for yourself when you can make it easier?
Yeah, okay, fair point.
And so, and then he gets a look at the diagram, and Odium's like, oh, well, Taravangian, this is really remarkable. Like, this is super impressive. You did all this without access to fortune or the spiritual realm? And Taravangian's like, thanks?
Fortune?
Dude, if that's a shard, I want to go to that planet. Those people are lucky.
No, capital F fortune is one of the things that you can store with Ferrochemy. Joe's handed out that power before.
That's right.
It's true. Yeah. But again, like, how do you store it? You have to be real unlucky. Like, do you keep getting hit by stuff, or like, what? How do you store that?
Well, and like the implication here, where he's like, you did this without access to fortune, is that it's not just luck; it's something else that could have given Taravangian the ability to do this.
Yeah, it's Felix Felicis. We get it.
I guess kind of, yeah, that would kind of make sense. But and he just shows Taravangian like, yeah, you saw this far. This is how far I can see, and it's like a million times bigger. And so Taravangian wants to make a deal. We'll work for you, and you like keep my kingdom safe or whatever. And Odium's like, I'm not dumb. You could like take over the whole world and I'd have to let everything go. No. You're family. That's it. Although Odium also mentions Dalinar was not supposed to ascend, capital A, which I think lends some credence to Jaime's theory.
Mm.
And also during the discussion, Taravangian notices something. A little place that like is a disruption or a dark spot in all this stuff Odium can see. And it is, at its root, is one name, Renarin Kholin.
Ominous.
Yeah. And so he tells him, you've agreed to a battle of champions, Taravangian says to Odium. You must withdraw to prevent this contest from occurring, and so must not meet with Dalinar Kholin again. Otherwise, he can force you to fight. So you have to let other agents work for you. You need me. So I guess that kills Dak's theory that that moment was the contest of champions. It's still out there.
If that wasn't but he did agree to it. He agreed to the contest. So like, is it? Oh, hang on a minute. Is this the whole fucking like they challenged Sadius in the arena, and because Kaladin did his and for my boon bit, like Sadius got away, and it's like, well, as long as I don't meet up with you, you can't force me into a fight. What are they doing here?
It's such like BS. It's just BS posturing. It's like, yeah, we'll do this fight because I think I'm gonna win. Oh, I can't win, then I'm just not gonna fight you. It's like, come on, what a lame-o.
Yeah,
these gods are real lame.
I think it is very similar to that now that you say that, because Sadius's deal was like, I accept your challenge in 1 year. And so basically what Taravangian says here is that if Odium meets up with Dalinar again, Dalinar can force the issue because a contest has been agreed to. So as long as Odium doesn't show up, well, I mean, I agreed to the contest. I didn't say when, so, you know.
Hell, Odium's reminding us of Sadius. That just lowers Odium's standing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. How low can you go? He's in limbo soon.
I mean, he's not down on like Moash level yet, so
yet.
But they come to an agreement. Kharbranth. Preserve Kharbranth and the people like 1 generation removed from the people who live there or something like that. And Odium's like, all right, yeah, it's the city of Kharbranth, any humans born into it along with their spouses. That's who I spare. And they agree. And it's like, oh, should we write a contract? And he says, no. I'm not some spren of honor who seeks to obey like the letter of a promise. I will keep the spirit, not merely the word. And so the diagram will serve Odium now. And Odium's like, okay, good. First thing first, I want that honor blade that you so cleverly stole recently. Which I felt like, ooh, so it was Taravangian who's killed one of Bridge 4 and stole the honor blade. Okay. And then you see what Odium does with the honor blade, and you're like, oh.
Ugh. Yeah.
But we cut to Shallan, who is getting ready for her wedding. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is before that. This is 1 week before the wedding. They're in a meeting. And she and Dalinar set up the map of the world showing all of the areas controlled by either the Coalition or the enemy. Eerie, Rira, and Baba Tharnum have all fallen to the enemy or gone over to. They have Alethkar. The area surrounding the Pure Lake has been captured by Eerie.
Not the Pure Lake.
Marat and the areas around that also turn gold. Shinovar and Tukar are green because we don't know where they are yet. And so there's not a whole lot of Coalition territory left. Like Shallan proposes, like, could we just let them keep what they took? Like maybe we can come to an agreement? And Dalinar says, no, as long as Odium is in charge of them, they're going to try to get rid of us all. Also, there's a traitor among us. Someone attacked Bridge 4 and stole the Honor Blade to unlock the Oath Gate.
Yeah.
And Shallan's like, yeah, maybe it was a Radiant who's changed sides. Look significantly at the guy waiting outside, the assassin in white, who has told them that all of the Skybreakers pretty much are going to be serving Odium. So, awesome. And Adolin's like, do you think Taravangian did that? And I was like, no. Why would he work with the enemy?
Oh, man.
And like Adolin, basically, where we're going is Alethkar needs a king, even though we don't have any territory left in Alethkar. So Adolin, you're up. Let's get you guys married and secure the monarchy. And Adolin just does not want to be king. Dalinar's not terribly interested in hearing arguments, so Adolin is like, yeah, I killed Sadius. Like, just throw that out there to change the direction of this conversation. And he's like, it needed to be done, and I'm not sorry about it. I'd do it again right now. Good on you. And yet Dalinar's like, why did you hide this from me? And Adolin says, because you're you. He's like, we can fix this. I did not need this crap right now, but we can fix it. We'll talk about it after the coronation. And he's like, no, I'm not going to become king. I'll be high prince, not king. I don't want that. And I would be bad at it. No one would listen to me. And Dalar's like, well, I can't be king. So if you're not going to be king, who's going to be king? And Sean's like, hey, I got an idea.
Why does it have to be a king? It doesn't.
No. And I love that we then get a Polona perspective where they're sitting around gossiping. And Sabariel's like, she's like, I think that this is going on. And Sabariel's like, I mean, you could just go ask him what's going on. He's like, oh, you're so hopeless. You can't just ask people about gossip. And then the door opens, and in walks Yasna Kholin wearing a little crown. It seemed the Kholin family had chosen their new monarch. And Sabariel's just like, oh, now this is going to be interesting. So yeah, that's like all we get of that. It will be very interesting to see what Yasna decides to do with, being in charge.
I really thought she wouldn't want it. I'm kind of surprised. I'm not surprised that they looked there, but I'm kind of surprised that she accepted.
Yeah, I mean, she must have her reasons. She's Yasna. She always has her reasons, but yeah.
Adela's just walked up. She's like, "Yeah, Dad wants to make me king. Can you take one for the team?" And she's just gone, "Well, I'm not letting that happen."
Oh yeah, it's like we'd be in hell in a handbasket with that. No, fine, I'll do it.
Like, she's pragmatic. She loves her cousins. She knows their limits.
Do you think she's going to keep Wit on as the Queen's Wit? I guess is what he would be now.
That depends on wherever the hell he is.
Oh, fair. Yeah, we haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea for sure.
And then back to Moash, who is back to breaking rocks, and the Parshmen from before show up to work with him. He's like, "Wait, didn't they send you guys like somewhere else?" And they're like, "Yeah, but I didn't want to work on a farm or as a house servant. We hear good things about you."
I thought they died. I thought they all got cut down in battle.
Some of them did, but I guess not all of them. And then Leshwi, the flying fused person, shows up, and they hand Moash the blade of the assassin in white, the blade of Yezereza, an honor blade. And she says, if you take it, you die. Moash will be no more. And he says, yeah, Moash's world is no more. He might as well join it.
Boo fucking who.
Everything sucks for me. I'm the worst. Everything is the worst for me and nobody else.
She says, Vire, join us in the sky. You have work. You have a work. I don't know what a work is, but... And one of the parsons is like, what'd you say, Vire? And Ken says, yeah, it's one of their names. I've been told it means he who quiets. And so Moash uses his new sword, sucks in some stormlight, and flies into the sky. Or not Moash,
yeah.
Vire.
So let's give the jerk face a cool name. Yeah, that's great.
And
magic powers.
Yeah, the sword of the dude he killed. Like, man, what a downgrade. Seth had the sword, and then it's gone to Moash. It's like, how do you go from one extreme to the other? That poor sword.
Yezreen doesn't even come into it. You're like, Seth.
We barely
that
saw
guy's
him.
Awesome. Yeah, it's true. He was just the herald of kings, greatest human being who ever lived, but whatever.
And it was also his idea to ditch town in Damnation for 4 millennia.
Okay. Then we get to Shallan getting ready for her wedding. She got a pair of boots from Cal in Bridge 4 as a wedding gift. That was fun. And I will tell you guys, when they first did the World Hopper Ball last year at the convention, I guess technically at this point the year before last, this was the theme of the ball. It was Shallan and Adelin's wedding.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. So they had actors playing the characters, and they went through the wedding ceremony. There was dances and presentation of things. It was you could get your pictures taken with like Yasna and Kaladin and stuff. It was very cool.
Nice.
There was even some story relevant things that that happened. Something weird happened at Shallan and Adelin's wedding that is extremely relevant to the story. It will be in a book. It's in Wind and Truth, but I went to the ball before Wind and Truth, or before reading Wind and Truth. Wind and Truth came out at that con, so it was like, ooh, what's this going on? And then you read it and you get more context from the book, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. So they really put a lot of work into it. It was pretty cool.
And do you say Seth is the flashback character for Wind and Truth?
He is.
Interesting. So we get to see it from Seth's perspective. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't think the part about the wedding, I think it's something that Shallan remembers. I don't think that was a flashback of Seth's. But
okay. It's like the Kaladin flashbacks in this book.
Yeah, kinda. Shit gets weird in that book. You'll see when we get there. But and the theme this year was a ball of the final empire or something. It was like Van and Elland and Say's like classic Luthadel ball. I didn't go, but that was the theme this year. So
Nice.
they really put some work into theming these things. Pretty cool. There was like Herdazian food and themed drinks and stuff at the ball that we did go to. So it was pretty neat. She's getting ready for her wedding, getting all dressed up, and then somebody shows up. It is her 3 brothers, and she's so excited. And Navani's like, "Oh, hey, look, I'll call for a delay in the festivities." And Sean's like, "No, this is great. I'll explain everything after the wedding, guys. There's so much we have to talk about." And Balat's just like, "Yeah, here's this letter. He said to give this to you." And she goes, "Who?" And he's like, "He said you'd know." What's going on? How do you know people like that? And I love that, like, her older brother's like, "We didn't hear anything until we came here through that, like, teleportation thing. You're getting married to the son of the Blackthorn? Like, what the hell?" And so she reads her letter, which it's from Murray's, a wedding gift. In payment for work done, I apologize for the delay. Your next mission, like, he's like, "Hey, you did what we asked. You got rid of the Unmade in the tower, and in payment, we forgive a part of your debt owed from the destruction of our Soulcaster. The next mission we're going to give you is one of the Unmade seems willing to break from Odium. Our good and that of your Radiant friends aligns, so you're going to find this Unmade and persuade it to serve the Ghost Bloods. Details will be forthcoming." So she assumes this is about Shah Anat, who we did see was like trying to help her in Kolinar. So, but she's got more important things to worry about right now. We'll worry about that later. And then we just cut to after the wedding, where Dalinar is going to his room. He's still got that one guy, Rial, as one of his bodyguards. And he's got Oathbringer, his old shard blade, hanging on the wall. Apparently, Rock insisted that he take it back, even though Rock technically, in killing Amaram, won the armor and the 2 blades. I like that Rock was like, it's a debt repaid, because he bought their freedom with Oathbringer once upon a time. And Navani comes in, and he's trying to write this thing, and he says, "Hey, I don't know how you write I. Because you showed me I, but like the female form, what's the male form?" And she's like, "Oh, is there one of those? Like, men can't write, so why would..." "Oh, but here's what you use when a man is talking and you're quoting him. Here you go." And we see that he's writing the prologue to Oathbringer. Several things that we've already read in the epigraphs at the beginning of the book, but now they make a whole new kind of sense. And it ends with he writes the title, Oathbringer, My Glory and My Shame. And that's the end of our section. So, for next time, we only have the one-ish thing. We're going to read the epilogue, which is the main thing. There's also an end note, which is just a poem written by Yasna for her ward's wedding. And then there's a couple of interesting things in the Ars Arcanum you can read through if you want. We might talk about them a little bit, but I won't insist that you guys read the whole thing. But yeah, that's all that we're reading for next time. The epilogue, by the way, is called Great Art. Beyond that, we're going to go, and I think we will, as a group, go through the Radiant Order quiz. I'll give you guys the link, and it gets compared to, the Harry Potter sorting quiz that you can take online, but it's a different sort of thing, honestly. But we'll go through it together. We'll talk about it. When we pick choices, we can discuss why people pick the things that they pick, and I think it'll make for an interesting episode. And then at the end, we'll see the results and talk about the different orders and stuff. But that's for next time. Let's move into predicaments, having wrapped up this book more or less. If you want to make predictions about what's coming in the epilogue, feel free. But going into the next book, where are we going? What are things going to look like after all this that just happened?
Yeah, I think this is going to be tough for me because, right, like we were in that, I think I was explaining, like, I feel like we're in that place of like, what now? So yeah, as far as what the epilogue is going to be about, I'm more interested. I'm actually more interested in reading the poem than the epilogue, just because I'd like to get inside Yasna's head. But yeah, what is this going to look like? Is the coalition going to reform? How do they fight back? Is it what I'm hoping is not the case is that it becomes a real political drama in the next book. I don't really love those, so I'm hoping that's not the case in the next book. What's the title of the next book?
The next book is The Rhythm of War. Surely
that's going to have some focus, maybe more on the Parchment. Then that would be my thought. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of ways this could go. I think we've had trouble in this, maybe because of how large these books are. We've been able to accurately predict like small things, but like for the most part, I feel like we've had a lot of trouble predicting things for this book series, just based on the fact that they're so large and so many things could happen. So I'm in a place right now where I'm like, let me just experience Let me experience the beginning of the next book and figure out where we're going. Because right now, I really don't know.
Fair point. Oh, I should note that before the next book does come a novella, just like between the last two books. The novella Dawn Shard happens between this book and that one. So,
Oh, cool.
We need to get a
Jack and
copy of
Jamie,
that.
have I? Yeah, I was about to say, have I gotten you all your copy of that yet? I haven't. Okay, let me make sure I do that then.
Oakley dokley.
But yeah, I don't blame you, Joe. We've just been hit with so much stuff here at the end of this that yeah, I can see being like, oh, let's just see where let's see where it takes us. No, I get it.
Yeah, it's always a bit hard when you get to the end of the book. You kind of gotta regroup a little bit before you move on. I'm hoping out of the epilogue that we have that from Wit's perspective. I feel like that would be continuing what we've seen before. So what comes in there? Who even knows? Going into the next book, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe a little bit of a time jump. Things are settling down with Yasna kind of running the show, like giving them a bit of time to sort out the politics in running their countries.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of work. Sorry.
No, I was just like, yeah, they probably would need some time to sort that through that, huh?
Yeah, I feel like that's probably stuff that we could find out afterwards, and I wouldn't be super disappointed. I don't need to see them setting up their whole system and all that sort of stuff.
Fair.
I don't imagine it would be a huge amount of time. I think that, yeah, just enough so they can kind of, we can get a lay of the land of where things are, and then I would probably expect the first bit of the book is them trying to work out their plan of attack. I would imagine that maybe they will start to get word of Moash doing his thing with his funky blade over there. Maybe we lose another herald or two in the time that we're gone, and they've got to kind of put together what's happening with that. It's hard because how do you go, okay, well, a herald's gone. What do you do? Like, how do you know that? Because you don't know who they are, but maybe Stormfather must be able to identify them. So like I sort of see like that side of things heating up like early in the book, and then I would expect to get a lot more of Venley's perspective. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Other than that, I don't really know where we're going to go. It's another sizable book, and I guess if we've got the novella in between, I don't really know what information's in there as well. But yeah, like I said at the beginning, a lot of my questions are kind of wrapped up in this book. So I feel like I'm going into the new book pretty fresh, actually.
Well, that's nice at least.
Yeah.
I like this idea that they may just be sending Moash out to start taking out the heralds. I mean, the heralds don't seem like a particular threat at this point, but maybe they have that potential, so why not like take them down?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would send a message.
Yeah.
Pretty big message, I guess. I mean, as if you haven't already sent a message. Like, the heralds would be aware of what just happened, sounds like.
It does seem like that, yeah.
But who else would know? Like, I don't feel like anyone else would know, unless Stormfather could comment on it. But I feel like that would be a pretty immediate thing, like, oh, Dalinar, we probably need to talk about this. And I would expect that to have been raised now. I don't think that's something that Stormfather would hang on to. If he did, I feel like Dalinar is then having another conversation. Well, why didn't you just tell me this? We could sort it out if we just talked about it, you know?
Stormfather is a little bit infamous for not sharing things when they might be helpful.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe he's improving on that. I was trying to think, what heralds
I'd like to think so.
What heralds do we even know? Like, there's 10 of them, and one is dead now, so 9. We know where Ashen Taln are. Teravangian thinks he knows where one is.
Maybe Nail. Like, we have enough to do with him, but we also have another character who would see into that. Like, is pretty heavily involved. Even though they're not really on the same side, you expect Zeph and Nail to meet up again. So like, that could be a way of going, hey, something's wrong. Yeah, maybe that's how they discover. I don't know. I don't necessarily want Nail taken out. I don't really want any of them taken out. But I mean, if you're going to take one out, take one who's sided with the opposition, right?
The one helping the enemy, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if he's helping, if he is on Odium's side. Like, essentially, we could say that the plan to take out the heralds is an Odium thing, right? So if he if Nail is on his
Yeah.
side, surely he wouldn't want to
Why
take
would
him
you
out.
take out him?
Maybe if he was the last one, he's like, well, I do need to take you all out, so bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I guess we shall see. Okay, well, interesting thoughts.
Yeah, I too don't really know where we're going at this point. Like, we've definitely concluded a lot of plot threads in this book, which is kind of cool. And I feel like it feels like a natural conclusion to the arcs, which is really cool. Where we can go, I don't know. Like, obviously, Odium's still out there. Taravangian, I'm just like, if he feels like Odium's not gonna be on his side, Taravangian might be able to pull a fast one. And the fact that, like, Odium all but said, was like, I'm not coming to you when you're smart because I don't want you to have any power. I'm just like, so Odium is limited? Like, if like a sufficiently smart Taravangian could potentially outwit Odium, like, that's a scary thought. Like, I mean, we'll see. We can see where that goes. But yeah, Taravangian might not be in it for the long haul with Odium, so that could be interesting. But yeah, I don't honestly know what's going to happen. I know, didn't Seth said he had to go to Shinovar at some point, or is that?
Yeah, he wants his because the fourth oath for them has to be some sort of quest that they take, and he wants his
Yes.
quest to be like ridding Shinovar of the leaders who were evil or false or something like that.
Well, that might be a hard sell if they're trying to bring Shinovar diplomatically into the coalition. So I guess like we just wait and see on that one. Like Seth's like, can I go to Shinovar? And Dana's like, no. How about now? No. And then Shinovar declares for Odium, and Dana's like, fine, go. Yay!
no.
It might be easy if he kills all the leaders, because then the new leaders will be like, yeah, whatever you say, Dalinar.
Yeah.
Yeah, please don't kill us.
Yeah, but that's the thing Dalinar's trying to move away from. He doesn't want to be that guy.
True.
So yeah, who knows about that? And I don't know what to make of this note that like Renarin is a spanner in the works of the diagram or something. Like, what does that mean? What is Renarin got? Because they still don't really know. Like, okay, we've established his spren was a void spren rather than a proper spren. So he is a truth watcher, or at least he represented them in the battle. But then also he sort of wasn't. So I need to know more about Renarin. Okay, like we've had all these mysteries about Renarin. Now I want some damn answers.
Yeah, at the very least, I guess he's an example that like the Void Spread don't have to be like evil or odium or whatever.
Ooh, maybe Shallan like takes Renarin to talk to Shah and Nat, and just like, look, we got one guy who was on Void Spren and then switched sides. Like, you wanna do the same?
Yeah. I will tell you my theory at this point with Renarin, because that is a big question in that Taravangian scene, right? It's like Renarin is like the wrinkle in the fact that Odium can see all of these possibilities, like way more than Taravangian saw with the diagram. And my assumption at this point, or my theory was, Renarin can on some level see the future. That's what we've seen.
Yep.
He keeps seeing bits and pieces of future. So I assume that someone else seeing the future, like it interferes with your ability to see what's going to happen when somebody else can also see what's going to happen and potentially change what they see or use what they see to their advantage. Like, you can't predict that. That's my thought at this point, anyway.
It's like the double adium, huh?
Yeah, exactly like double adium. Now that you mention it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
I'm glad you said that because I couldn't figure out how to word it very well. But yes.
Yeah, double adium. It's like, well, it cancels it out because it's like he can see what you're gonna do, what you can see what he's gonna do. It's like, okay, well then nobody has an advantage.
So that was my guess at this point. I don't know. But yes, I like this idea. It's like, hey, Sha'anat, you corrupted this one spren or enlightened, whatever they call it, and it's on our side. You can be friends with us. I mean, she kind of tried to be friends with Shallan, and Shallan's like, yeah, I don't really trust you because you're an unmade.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe Renarin, like his perspective, will help bridge that gap. Of course, Shallan's also just like, well, I need to sell this thing to the Ghostbloods. So I thought the Ghostbloods sort of took a back seat this book, and fair enough, because Shallan had bigger problems like how to get out of Kolinar and the cognitive realm alive.
True.
But yeah, I wonder if the Ghostbloods kind of step back. I can't imagine they're going to stay there for long.
Fair point. Yeah, so they might come back with a vengeance in the next one, and we'll see what because we're not super sure what it is they're trying to do, what their goals are here.
So they want an unmade. Is that what we figured out?
I mean, that's what he says. They want an unmade working for them. But
yeah,
it's like okay, that's weird.
They saw that Dalinar captured one. It's like, fuck, why didn't we think of that?
Yeah, I want all the Pokemon unmade.
I want the legendary.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're all legendary.
Yeah, well,
I mean, they kind of are. Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
So all Sprite are Pokemon,
yeah.
but you can only capture one, but you can capture all the legendaries.
You just need like the pure gem, which is like the Master Ball.
Master
Oh
Balls.
yeah, like the flawless gem or whatever. Yep.
Yep.
I like this comparison. Yep, it's a Pokemon game now. We're
Right.
gonna catch them all.
Downer jumps out with the ruby, and the song kicks in. It's just like, I want to be the very best.
Okay, we are running close against time here, so I want to cover one more thing. We have several emails, but we'll save those for a different time. I want to cover one more thing before we wrap up. What we read next. Let's get that out of the way now. I've been letting you guys vote if we want to keep going with Stormlight or if we want to take a little bit of a break. Personally, I feel like you guys could use a break at this point from Stormlight, but I'm going to let you guys vote again. What do we think? Do we want to move right into the next, what would be the novella at this point, or do we want to take a Stormlight break and do something else?
What would be the alternative?
I think we would do Tress of the Emerald Sea.
Interesting.
I mean, I personally am happy to keep going, but I'll read what I'm told.
So Jamie votes for Stormlight. What about you guys?
I'm happy to read whatever. How many weeks do you imagine Tress is?
I can tell you that. I have that outlined also. 1
I
second.
think we asked this before. You said it was like 9.
It is 9, yes. I think
Okay,
each of the
that's
secret
not
projects is
too
9.
much of a break. My fear was if we read another story in between, that I might be like, okay, where are we on this other book again? But that's 9 weeks is bearable as far
Yeah.
as like remembering where we are. So I'm happy to do either.
Well, and
I really don't mind.
I will also say, in case it affects anything, there is a bit of a time skip to the beginning of Rhythm of War.
Okay.
I could have told you that before predictions, I guess, but it's not really super relevant. So I don't know if that affects what you're thinking either. But in universe, there's also going to be a little skip before the next book.
Okay. Can you tell us how much it is, or is that kind of?
I
spoilery?
honestly do not remember exactly
Okay,
how long
okay.
it is.
That's
I
fine.
think it's somewhere between a few months and a year. I want to say. But
I'm happy to do either. The thought of being able to read one of the secret projects that I've had on my shelf for a long time is an interesting thought and slightly fun. But at the same time, I do want to know what happens next in the Stormlight Archive. So I'm happy to do either.
Interesting. Okay, Dak, what are you thinking?
Yeah, as much as I've said, like I think Oathbringer is my favorite of the Stormlight books. There have been parts, especially in this book, and I'm just like, man, we've been in Stormlight for so long. So I'm actually feeling if there is a bit of a time skip, and because this was a natural closing of a lot of arcs in a way, the first 2 books I didn't think they really were. I'm kind of feeling, yeah, if we have like if Tress is only a short one, only 9 weeks, maybe we just do that, have a little breather, and then we can come back into Stormlight feeling fresh because it's not that far away realistically.
Yeah.
So if you guys
Okay,
are happy
so-
to do that, that would be my vote.
Yeah.
More or less even here. I personally, I to chime in. I mean, I said I think you guys could use a break. I think that it might help sort of re-energize the predictions and stuff. Also, if we
yeah,
got to
that's
do a
true.
little something different for a while. So I think that is what we will do next. We'll discuss whether Dawn Shard should be first, before, or after. But I think the next book we read, we'll do Tress of the Emerald Sea, and everyone. I think you guys will enjoy it, and I will enjoy it. So, yeah, we'll plan on that one next. So anyone out there who's reading along with us, get a hold of Tress if you don't have it, and Dawn Shard, because those are the next 2, in whichever order we read them, those are the next 2 things that we're reading. So get ready for that.
Oh, this is
Awesome.
exciting. Like Joe said, it's like we've had these really pretty secret projects on our shelf for ages, and we're finally going to crack one.
Yeah, right? But for next time, we're just doing the epilogue, and then the 4 of us are going to do the Radiant quiz on Brandon's website and kind of talk about, we might do some high level, like, what did you think of this book overall, the Stormlight books so far, and maybe talk a little more about the Radiant orders as they come up. But that's the plan for next time. So if you guys want to take the quiz also, people at home, then do that.
So we're officially going to learn what each order is, because I don't think we've done that yet.
Yes, we will have. I feel like we've heard the names all at this point, but some of them like once or twice, and then not again. So I'm sure they have not all stuck in everyone's brains.
Mm-hmm.
So we will talk about what we get and the details on those, and then probably look at the other orders, and you guys can get an idea of not only what their names are, but there's at least like a paragraph or so of information about like this is the kind of personality that does, or this is kind of the driving forces of how with the Windrunners they're protecting people. There's different sort of stuff like that. So we'll find out some about each.
Yeah, the details of which won't spoil like characters we haven't met yet, right? It won't be like you're like this person and this person and this person. It's not gonna do that, is it?
No, I don't believe that it calls out specific names. It's
Okay.
a very general. I actually was looking at it again before we started this episode to make sure, and I didn't see anything like that. But I'll make
so
sure.
We'll find
before
out
we
what
do
you
it.
are because we don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk about what each of us is, and it'll be fun. So, yep, that's for next time. If you're reading along, read the epilogue of this book, and then go out and take the Radiant quiz, and you can go through it with us.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Since there's an official, sorry, I was just gonna add in. Since there's an official Radiant quiz, I feel like that's not something I need to gift people that listen to the show, right? Like, go take the quiz with us, and we can all revel in the fact that we know officially what we are from Brandon. It's not it's not some random podcaster handing out names.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
True.
Like, you guys, you do this with us. Do it along with us. I'm excited to know. Mail in, email us, tell us, hey, this is what I am. Or this might be fun, listeners. Why don't you email us what you think we are, and then we can talk about it.
Oh,
they won't hear this before we take the quiz, but that would be fun.
It'll still be fun.
Yeah.
You can still do it. Fair.
So yes, if you want to send us an email, the address is thesanderlanch@gmail.com. If you send us, if you leave us a 5-star review on the podcast platform of your choice, you can email us a picture of that, and Joe will assign you a misting power. If you want to join our Patreon, where I'm still posting my reactions as I read Isles of the Emberdark for the first time, then Joe will assign you a faring power. And if you want a Radiant Order, then take the quiz with us and get your own. That sounded weird when I said it like that, but I did not.
Go get your own. That's
get your own.
You don't even go here.
Thank you all for listening. We appreciate you. Remember, just the epilogue of Oathbringer for next time, and then take the Radiant quiz with us. Music by Miracle of Sound. And wasing to the time of next. Colo, P.S. Fasher. Crabs ahoy!
Supernovas die, fractured in the fateful fall of man. Feel the heart raging of a strength unseen. Unity will bring the upper hand.